Hey, Tribe, Sally here. And Kit. Come here, Kit. Come say hi. Come say hi. There we go. There we go. There he is. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. All right, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Hey, I am here with a day in the life vlog update kind of thing for you. And you can see we're sitting inside. It's raining outside. It's cold. It's, all the things. And I want to talk to you about all the things. So let's roll the intro and then we'll get right into what's on my mind.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Welcome back. So, I wasn't going to do this. And in fact, that's part of the point in why I'm doing it. It is already 11:45 a.m. and I haven't been motivated to do anything except take Mr. Kid out for our morning walk. And even at that, I did it pretty late. So why is that? Why the lack of motivation? Well, I am realizing again for the first time in many, many, many years what it's like to live with SAD, Seasonal Affective Disorder. I first discovered I had it back in the 80s, and I moved to a place in northern New Jersey that was very much like the Lewis Lake Campground. My house was surrounded by all these tall trees, and it was very depressing. Even on sunny days, not that much sunlight came through, and the tall trees all make it feel kind of claustrophobic. And once I got a diagnosis and found out what that was about, well, pretty much since the mid-80s, I've been able to avoid putting myself in those circumstances for more than a few days at a time. And I wanted to talk about this. I did talk about it previously, but I wasn't really being as affected by it as I am now today when a little more time has gone by. So I want to talk about the effects of what that's like, whether you're deciding to camp-host or not. This might be helpful to you in certain circumstances if you find yourself in this kind of situation. So here's the deal. Today is October 3rd. I have been at Lewis Lake for less than a month. I got here on September 11th, so it hasn't even been a month. But today has been the biggest impact for me. And it might have even started yesterday without my really realizing it. I'm a little depressed. Not in the woe is me, I'm so worthless, not that kind of big depression thing. But the very fact that I couldn't get motivated to do anything this morning, sorry, I'm watching a rig go up the road. I couldn't get motivated to do anything all morning long. And I have got some amazing plans for what I want to be able to share with you guys, changes that I'm making coming up. I've been working really hard behind the scenes while I've been parked here. And I've been trying to get caught up on videos and stuff like that, on travel videos. But today it's just like I didn't really feel like doing anything. And you're getting this vlog inside because it's raining outside. And the rain itself is depressing. And it's cold. So a couple of things that I've learned from this experience is I really do not like cold weather. Chasing 73 degrees is a real thing for me. For me. Might not be for you, but it is for me. And the lack of sunshine is a real demotivator for me. Even when it's sunny, it still feels dark with all the trees surrounding me. And that's not the way that I want to live long term. And I've said this before, I must say it again in case you didn't see the previous videos. But part of what I've learned from this experience is I'm enjoying the camp hosting aspect of it. I'm enjoying the interactions with the campers. I like the actual physical daily job. I'm enjoying all of the staff and the rangers and everybody. I'm not enjoying the weather or the tall trees. So if I do this again, it won't be in a forest. surrounded by trees. I like my trees way over there, as somebody commented when I mentioned this previously. I don't want them right up next to my RV. I don't want the darkness all the time. So, there's that. And all of that said, I am extremely grateful for the time that I've had here, for the interactions that I've had with people, for the interactions that Kit has had with people. And part of what I was hoping for was that by being with me all the time, like when I'm in the ranger station and so forth, that his reactivity would be reduced. And I think it is. I mean, I stopped down at the ranger station this morning when we were out for our walk, and there was a new ranger there that he had not met previously, in addition to one that he had. And there were, people walking in and out of it's a very small building. And in fact, maybe I'll try and remember to show you the inside of that on one of our next walks. But anyway, so there was activity, and activity always causes reactivity for Kit. And he managed to contain himself and not bark at anybody until the last person came in, and then that was his limit. And again, this morning, we had somebody camp next to us over the last couple of days, and we've had several conversations and interactions and so forth, and Kit has always behaved not inappropriately, because it's Kit, but not in the way that I would prefer. And this morning I was standing talking to the gentleman when we were on our way back from our morning walk, and Kit was pulling at the leash. And my first thought was he was pulling at the leash because he wanted to run over and bite the guy because he's Kit. But no, he ran over. He put his paws, the guy was leaning against the tailgate of his truck, put his paws up on the gentleman's leg and accepted. The guy put his hand out. Kit licked it. Kit got a little scritch from him. No barking, no reaction. It was pretty awesome. Now, do I expect that he's going to behave that way all the time? No, of course I don't, because he's Kit. And he's very reactive. That comes from the combination of 71% Chihuahua and being abused and dropped on the streets. He had a pretty hard life before he came to me. But he's making improvements, and all of the interactions, all of the people activity here, I think has actually been really good for him as well. But I'm pretty much done. I have one more 4-day work shift to do before I can leave, and I'm on day 2 of my 4-day off shift. So I will be here basically for another week. And it's going to start snowing over the weekend. So today is Friday. So it's supposed to start snowing tomorrow evening, pretty much all day Sunday. We're supposed to get like 4 inches of snow. I haven't ever camped in the snow before, so this is going to be super interesting. And of course, I've got all lithium batteries, and only one of them has a heater. So I can discharge the rest, but they won't charge. Oh, here comes the sun for a moment. Yay! But they won't charge on their own if they fall below freezing. The temperatures don't look like they're going to be too terrible with regard to freezing as pertains to the batteries. It's still going to be cold. I mean, I think the high tomorrow is going to be like 40. And so all of this is to say, this has been a fun experiment. I'm ready to leave. I got 4 more work days to get through. That'll be fine. I can do it. Not that big a deal, knowing that the end is coming. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I'm pretty sure that I know what I'm going to be doing now when I leave here, which is to go visit her in a sunny clime that is very near the Mexican border. And I'm basically going to hightail it south, because I feel like for the most part I've done everything I need to do in this northern part of the country. So I'm going to hightail it south, get some warmer weather, and go with that. So let's do a little update on what the government shutdown impact on the campground has been too, because this is day 3 now. I guess we shut down on Wednesday. Is that right? Yeah, because that was my last work day, so that was the first full day of the shutdown. So impact to the campground. I'm not going to talk about the whole park because I don't know about the whole park, except from my experience yesterday, and I will share that with you. In the campground, people that have reservations can still come in. We still have rangers on duty during the day, and we still have camp hosts. The other camp hosts are here as well as me. They're the ones who are on duty right now. But where before we could accept walk-ins looking for open sites, we can't do that anymore because there is no fee collection. So that's kind of interesting. So if you've got a reservation already, you can come in and fulfill your reservation. But if you just happen to be driving through the park and you wanted to see if there was a site available, well, there may be sites available, but I can't give them to you anymore because there's no fee collection available. And just to be clear, I'm as a camp host, I can't accept any fees anyway. The fees are handled by the rangers, but because of the shutdown, no fee collection. So no walk-ins, no first come first serve. And I've had to turn several people away just because of that. So that's been, in terms of the campground operation, that's been the biggest impact. And I've still seen the maintenance trucks coming through, so I guess they're considered essential. Nobody said anything to me about maintenance. I guess that's above my pay grade, which is, zero. Because my pay is just that I get my site. So on my first day off yesterday, I did leave because once I got my 100 amp hour battery charged in the morning, and in case you're not aware, my electrical system is a little bit unusual, I think. I have a 3,000 watt Victron Multiplus inverter. I've got 560 amp hours of Big Beard lithium batteries to store the solar power that's delivered from 800 watts of rich solar on my roof. That's my main system. But my supplemental system, which was mostly installed by the factory, is what most people would be a standard 12 volt lead acid battery is what's going to come from the factory usually. I just replaced my original coach battery, lead acid coach batteries, with a 100 amp hour SOK lithium heated battery, which is good because it's in an outside compartment, so it's self-heating. And it just occurs to me that that is probably why I'm using more power overnight, because it has to use some of its power to heat itself. So in the warmer months, typically that battery would drop from 100% down to about 85% overnight. So it'd use about 15% overnight, running the refrigerator, the water pump, furnace if I'm doing that, any of that kind of stuff that runs off of the 12 volt power. But then to recharge that battery, it recharges from a separate Victron charger that runs off of my big inverter battery bank solar system. So I'm draining my big batteries, my Big Beard batteries, in order to recharge my SOK battery, which is a little bit weird. Most of the time it's absolutely fine. When I'm sitting here in mostly shade, which is what I'm doing, I'm not really getting enough power. And because it was so rainy over the previous 4 days and so gray and overcast all the time, by the time my SOK battery was charged yesterday morning, my Big Beard batteries were down to, like 44%. And somebody made a comment when I had mentioned this previously that I should look at it in terms of volts, not in terms of percent. Well, you do you. I understand what the percentages mean in terms of what I need to do, so it makes sense to me to deal with it that way. And that's what's displayed most easily for me to understand. So, I left yesterday morning and stopped in the day-use parking lot on the way out of the Lewis Lake area to turn on my generator so I could get my batteries recharged, because there's no place to plug in, Well, I guess it's possible that I might be able to get an RV site paid reservation at one of the Xanterra run RV park campgrounds here. I don't even want to think about what that would cost though. And in fact, part of what I looked at the other day was, do I go to a Harvest Host location that offers electricity and, have dinner out? And I just decided I really just didn't feel like driving that far, basically just to recharge my batteries. So I headed up to Canyon Village yesterday, and I ended up having a really good time. Turned out to be a beautiful day. Had to run the generator almost, I think, like 4.5 hours to get my batteries recharged. wasn't thrilled about having to listen to that noise every time I stopped, but whatever. It works. It's fine. Not a big deal. And so I went up to Canyon Village. I got a burger there for lunch. And then we did the North Rim Drive, did a bunch of hiking around there. Um, we saw the Sulphur Canyon and the mud volcanoes, Dragon's Mouth, Dragon's Tongue. Did a big hike around that area. So we got plenty of steps in yesterday. Got the batteries recharged, and we got back here just about 5 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. And, I was out and I was in the sun most of the day, and it was okay. But really, 5 o'clock, I came back and it was dark-ish, certainly dark inside comparatively. So, yeah, so there's that. And of course, because we're overcast and raining again today, I'm not really getting any solar, so I'm basically just depleting my batteries. And that means that perhaps the next vlog you get from me will be with us parked down in the day use area, because I can do that. I can go to the day use area, park down there, run my generator to recharge my batteries, and I'm going to do that before it starts snowing, because I want to run my furnace pretty much nonstop, I think, and at least stay warm. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of days to get through, and yeah, and we'll see if the shutdown brings any other changes as it progresses. As I understand it at this point from the news sources I've seen, it appears that it's going to extend into next week. I don't know if it's going to make any difference in terms of what we're doing here at the campground or not. And the last day for this campground to be open is October 13th, and then the campground's closed. But the boat inspection ranger staff is still here until October 31st, because people still come out and get out on the lake and go fishing and boating and stuff. And hey, just in case you didn't know, even though Yellowstone here is in Wyoming, you don't need a Wyoming fishing license to fish in Yellowstone. You need a Yellowstone fishing license. So there's that. Maybe that'll do some good for some of you. I had several campers that had purchased a Wyoming fishing license before they came, and then were disappointed to find out that what they needed was a Yellowstone fishing license to fish in Yellowstone. So maybe I can save you a few bucks there. Anyway, I hope that you got something out of this video, listening to my ramblings about what camp host life is really like for me, and your experience may be very, very different. Everybody lives differently. Everybody has different choices about how they live. But I wanted to share with you as clearly as I can what my experience has been like. And if you want to hear more about my experience on Sunday, Sunday is the first Sunday in October, so we will be doing my first Sunday of the month Coffee Talk live stream, which is 8 o'clock Pacific and 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And hope I see you there. So as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my channel members. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If you think you are, double check to make sure. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.